thank you so much for coming to my channel once again. Today I'm going to talk about soft spots on your baby's head. When you look closely at your baby, you will notice that there is this spot on the head. It's diamond shaped and it goes in and out. That is called a soft spot. There isn't only one in the head. There's another one at the back as well. But the one in front is more noticeable. It's actually called the anterior fontanel because it's in front and it's a fontanel, but it's more commonly known as a soft spot. So why do babies have soft spots? There are two important reasons for this. The first one is that when the babies are in the womb, their skull bone, that is the bone in the head, is not one complete bone. It is many different bones that come together very loosely. And because they come together very loosely, where the soft spot is, there is that space where the bones have not joined. So that is what the soft spot is. And the reason why they are loosely in the womb is because when the baby is passing through the birth canal, we don't want the head to get stuck. Or God doesn't want the head to get stuck. So there are many bones, so that as the baby is coming through the birth canal, some of the bones can slide or override each other and make the head a bit smaller, and then the head can pass through the birth canal. That is why sometimes when babies are born, you find some of the heads are very squishy, some of them are looking a bit interesting, and sometimes when maybe a vacuum has been applied to the baby's head, you find that the top is looking a bit conical and that sort of thing, But these correct by the time the babies are about 2 weeks old. These shapes of the body, of the baby's head, they don't last. It's just because this happened when they were passing through the birth canal. So with time, the head just assumes a nice rounded shape on its own. You don't really have to do anything about it. And that is why babies that are born by cesarean section, because the heads have not passed through the birth canal and undergone this molding process, then you find that the heads of cesarean section babies are a bit rounded, more rounded than those of babies that have had a passage through the birth canal or babies that are born vaginally. So that is it. So if you find your baby after birth, the head is a bit squished and looking interesting, don't worry. It's just because of this. It's because the baby needed to pass through the birth canal safely. It will correct on its own. The second reason why babies have the soft spot on top of their head is that when they are born, the brains still grow. The brains of babies are still growing. It stops growing around the time they are 2 years old. Even that one, when something happens to the brain, parts will still grow up and take over. So the heads of babies keep growing. If the skull is fixed, it cannot expand, then the brain cannot grow. Because once the skull is fixed, if the brain increases in size, where will it be? So if the skull is fixed, the brain will not grow. And because the brain needs to grow, the skull is not one bone. There are these spaces to allow the brain to grow. And then when the brain stops growing, then the bones join together. Isn't this wonderful? There are all these things happening with our babies. It's so interesting, so intriguing, and so wonderful about our babies. So those are the two reasons why soft spots are important. So now that I've explained that these are the reasons why soft spots are important, tell me, should you try to make these soft spots go? I'm asking this question because in a lot of cultures, we are busy trying to make these soft spots disappear because we think it's something abnormal. So we have some parents who put hot towels on the baby's head and they are trying to squeeze it for the head to, the soft spot to disappear. And then sometimes the soft spots pulsates up and down. So I think the pulsation bothers us, and then we put pieces of cloth or we put some oils, anointing oils on it. But these things don't actually affect the soft spots. And they don't really cause any harm to the babies, except that the squeezing that we do with the hot towel, sometimes it causes a lot of discomfort. So you find a lot of babies when they are having their bath, they are crying so much, they are using so much of their energy and their strength to cry. Energy and strength that they could use to grow, they are using it to cry because we are squeezing the head and squeezing the head because we want these soft spots to disappear. So no, the soft spots will disappear with age. As the baby grows, then the soft spots disappear when the head stops growing. So, when your baby is 2 years old and the soft spot is still on the head, you should prompt the doctor. because the soft spot should have disappeared by that time. In fact, most babies, the anterior fontanel, the one that is right on top, it will disappear from about 9 months, thereabout, it starts disappearing and you won't find it again. All right. Then the next thing I want to talk about is danger signs regarding this soft spot. You know that the soft spot is there and it's going in and out. But sometimes you find that it is bulging. You can only know the difference when you have been taking a look at the soft spot of your baby all the time. So you can really notice the difference. And sometimes when you see that it is bulging, has risen up more than it is, it may be a problem, especially if your baby is also sick at the time and is vomiting and has a temperature. It may be a problem. So you should bring it to your doctor's attention because it may mean an infection in your baby's brain. But like I said, don't just take the fact that it is bulging. You have to take other things into consideration before you take this decision. And then sometimes when babies are dehydrated, maybe they are sick and they are not feeding, you find that the soft spot goes inward. It's so inward, you put your hand in, it goes inward. Then you can also prompt your doctor. But again, don't take just this one in isolation. It should be added to the fact that your baby is sick and is not feeding, because that may be a sign of dehydration. And if your baby does not have a soft spot at all, that is called craniosynostosis. It's a problem. You should let the doctor know, because what happens is that the brain may not be able to grow because the bones have been fused, and there are things that can be done for your baby to allow the brain to grow. So that is the soft spot, and I just wanted to make this video about it because I get a lot of questions from people who want to know what to do about it. Should it disappear? Should it be there? Should it not be there? Thank you for watching it. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to know what to do when your baby has a flat spot on a part of the head, I've done a video on it and I'll link it, and then you can go and watch that one. Thank you so much. Bye.